Good morning. It is July 26th, and once again, today's devotion comes from the book of Habakkuk. And if you haven't been watching or been a part of these devotions on Habakkuk, I really would encourage you to go back to the first one and take a look at them all. Habakkuk is, you would think he's writing today to our society. But in our verse for today, Habakkuk 2:20, the Lord is speaking to Habakkuk, and he says, "But the Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth be silent before him." And the title for today's devotion is "Denying Absolutes Doesn't Make Them Not Absolute." And here's my point. We have people today saying that there is no God, which would be an absolute. We have people saying there are no absolute rights or wrongs, but it's kind of subjective. You got to wait for the instance to occur, and then we could review the instance and decide whether something was right or wrong. But there can't be any absolutes, because you see, if there were absolute moral rights and wrongs, then there would have to be an absolute moral right and wrong giver. And I hope that makes sense to you. So Habakkuk's society is no different than our society, where they have forsaken God and they're kind of doing their own thing. And they're kind of just denying the absolutes and living like they don't exist. But just because we live like they don't exist doesn't mean they don't exist. Listen, the law of gravity is a reality. You might say it's an absolute. But I could say that the law of gravity doesn't exist. I could argue that it's just a state of mind, that it's just a figment of our imagination, and that if we properly understood our mind and the power of our mind, we could defy the laws of gravity. But as soon as I climb up a 5-story building and jump off that building to prove to the world that that absolute doesn't exist, the absolute will prove that it exists. You see, absolutes they just are, and they will always and constantly prove themselves to be right. The Lord is in his holy temple. Let the earth be silent. Listen to what the Lord's saying. I'm here whether you believe in me or not. I am here whether you see me or not. And the absolutes that I provide for humanity are real, whether you believe them or not. And you will live in a state of chaos if you reject my absolutes. You can live in a sense of peace and order if you follow my absolutes. Well, I encourage you to read this devotion, and I pray it is a blessing to you. Have a firmly rooted day.